welcome to the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners meeting September 8th for 9 a.m. We'll call this meeting to order. If you will, please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you that once again we have the opportunity to come together and take care of the business of this county. Dear Lord, we just ask, as we always do, that you will guide our thoughts, our words, our actions, that we will do what is pleasing to you and in the best interest of all of us who live here. Be with everyone who is here today, whether they're online or in our presence. And Lord, we just ask that you watch over everyone and give them a safe trip back to their respective places. And we pray these things in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move to the next item, and that is to adopt the agenda. Is there anything that needs to be added or anything, Mr. Gay? All right. Hearing that, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Next item is the minutes from the August 24, 2021, 6 p.m. regular meeting. If you all have had time to read those, are there any need for change?
I move to accept them as presented.
Okay, have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Next item, municipal comments. Let's see any. Constitutional officers, department heads, and we'll move to the next item for public hearing. Item number 1, 2021 property millage rate. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
Mr. Threadgill, I would like to say a few things.
Okay, Kat, go ahead.
Hi. So I have a few comments that I would like to say concerning some events that have happened recently at our office. And if you would, before I even continue, is there a time limit that I have on this?
Well, if it is something that you want to present, this is the time for you to update us on items in your office, not to present other things. So if you would like to be on the agenda to formally bring something before the board, then you would need to schedule that through Allison or Beverly. But this is a time just to update the commission board on things that are happening in your office. So if it's something other than that, you will need to take the time to schedule yourself to be on the agenda for the next meeting.
Well, it's a good thing that there's things that are happening in my office. But again, do you have a time limit on this? I don't plan on speaking too long, but I just would like to know ahead of time if I'm gonna.
I'll give you a total of 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. Thank you. So we've had some issues getting IT support in the office recently, and I am here asking for some clarification from the board. I've had some email communication from the county administrator, Mr. Gay, but I still don't have the clarification that I need concerning this. So what the issue is presently is that we're not having our IT support needs met. Right now we've got computers that have been hooked up, but we are missing the software necessary to for our new employees to be able to use these computers. So Mr. Richmond, the county's IT director, was at our office last week, but he was directed by the county administrator to leave the office before completing what was needed to be done.
You know what the reason for being directed to leave was?
Could I continue?
You can, but when you made a statement, I would like the answer to that question.
Okay, well, if you're not going to let me continue, then then yes.
I didn't say you could not continue, Kat. I asked, you made a statement. So in order for us to be formally informed or correctly informed, if you could answer that question for this board, since you were wanting to present the information to us, then we would like to receive that entirely.
Okay, well, I mean, the whole thing is that if I can present what I'm saying, and then, maybe we could get through more than a sentence or two without just going back and forth. That's what I was hoping for, is just to be able to present my side and then be able to hopefully meet some kind of concession on this. But the question you asked was kind of a loaded question. So
I think yours was a loaded statement, if you want to go down that road with me. Your statement was a loaded statement because you're making insinuations and very open statements, but you're not wanting to question or answer the questions. And when we do, you want to come back and state that we are very loaded questions. So if you would like to continue and answer our question without making those types of statements, we'll allow you to continue. If not, then as far as I'm concerned, you can put yourself on the agenda for the next meeting.
Well, unfortunately, I understand that you will be voting on a budget, and this has a pretty big impact on our budget. So if I could, I'd like to.
We're not voting on the budget today.
Okay, well, good, then we have some time. Well, what I understand, because I could hear the conversation, was that Administrator Gay had told Mr. Richmond that he was going to leave after refusing to provide me with any kind of documentation about what was being done concerning cables being moved in my office. Does that adequately sum up what the issue was?
Okay.
Okay, so with that, that's exactly the problem. We have come to this has been an issue several times. Chairman Threadgill, as you're aware, and due to the meeting that we had in my office a couple weeks ago concerning IT support, we're not able to get past this idea that, and I've stated this very clearly on several occasions, that if any work needs to be done in my office, I would like to be notified ahead of time. And I would like any kind of work that involves the system, the internet system, the network connection, anything that involves our equipment to be in writing. So I have some verification on what's being done.
Right, and I'll go ahead and say in that meeting, since you wanted to point that out, it was myself, Commissioner Plant, Theron, and Skip were there. And that day, Kat, I honestly, when we walked away from that meeting, I thought that we had come to some type of middle ground, that you had walked Skip around that day and shown him exactly what needed to be done, that the cables needed to be pulled in certain areas, in certain offices, and that you had given a list of items that needed to be completed. Skip also informed you that they would have to order the printers, he would have to order the computers, and could not give a specific deadline. But I don't really understand what really needs to be presented to you as far as what is going to be installed when you yourself, as the tax commissioner in that office, on the day of this meeting that you just brought up, stated exactly what needed to be done, what offices needed to be provided. And to my understanding, this is exactly what Skip was doing on the day that you refused for him and the guys to come in and pull those cables through your office because you didn't have a form. Now, I'm sorry, but we don't provide that to every office. When an office tells us this is what we need to continue with our work, and that is a time, it may be that we have service in this area today that can do this, and it may be that we need to come to your office and do it, but the work that would be done in your office is based on the information that you've already explained and stated that you needed in that office. So I'm really not following what your issue is.
That's incorrect, Chairman.
No, it's not correct, incorrect. I was at the meeting.
You were not there when
No, but I was at the meeting that you brought up, and I just stated the
When Mr.
things that you
Richardson
said in there.
was here,
I tell you what, why don't you schedule yourself to be on the agenda? We have an entire agenda to move forward today, and we're not going to allow this, as far as I'm concerned. So what you
If
can do
don't
is to
want
request, no, you can,
information,
Kat,
I'm afraid that's not. gonna be
you are out of
better.
order, Tax Commissioner Jenkins. So at this point, you may place yourself on the agenda to present before this board at the next meeting.
Just one thing, do you need me to provide a written request to be on the agenda or?
Yes, I do. You can send that to
Okay, so
Allison. You can send that to Allison or Beverly. Thank you, Kat. Have a
Providing
good day.
your
Next item on the
request,
agenda
right?
is public hearing. Do I have a
That's just what I
motion to
wanted-
go into item number 1, 2021 property millage rate?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We are in public hearing number 1 at 9:10.
Morning. We have our chief appraiser, Mr. Little, was with us this morning, and school system has already met, and they have approved had their hearing and approved their business. Correct?
They did, they met last night.
Okay, and we have prepared a resolution for the board. Bill and Gina all were part of this, and we have a the village rate. We're following the rollback rate on every item, even this year on the fire district fire bond, because they've changed the form a little bit. So what we're doing, and Bill, if you want to jump in, you jump in at any time, but what we've done is we have taken the rollback rate, which means that it has reduced the village rate slightly from last year. It will be for incorporated, unincorporated 13.239, and the school will be 18.641 and 3.178. Our fire bond will be just the papers here. It will be 695.
0.695.
What was that number again?
0.695.
And the fire district will be 2.483.
Yes,
All right. Okay.
Say that one more time. 2.483. Okay.
So that's down from the 2.5, and the bond is down from the 0.7, and the village rate is down from what was it last year, babe?
Which one, the county?
13.343
Right.
last year. So all the millage rates are down. We have had the proper 5-year history advertising, and everything really is in order to be able to submit. So, and we'll answer any questions that the board has.
So do we just need to vote to pass these new rollbacks?
What you need to do is just, on this one, is just do the, public hearings, if anyone has anything to say. And then your first item of new business will be the property tax.
Okay.
The only thing I wanted to just mention, is bring the board's attention, you probably already noticed it. If you look at the gross millage rate, the net millage rate for the past 5 years, it's gone down each year. But the volume of taxes that's collected has gone up each year, so that signifies a healthy growth within the county. I think that needs to be mentioned for residents to realize that.
I looked at the growth numbers last night, and it's pretty substantial. You have that 5-year history. So since 2016, our gross digest has increased by a little over $100 million.
A little over $1 million.
100 million. From 735 million to 836 million. So that's a pretty good.
Not million.
The digest.
Oh, the digest, I got you, okay.
That's why I looked at it too, Ben.
This is a gross digest,
All right, I got you, I'm going, what?
which is pretty good growth.
Yes, it is, absolutely.
All right. So is there anyone else? Is there anyone who wants to speak during the public hearing? Dean, did you need to say anything? All right. Hearing none, do I have a motion to go out of public hearing?
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? We are out of public hearing number 1 at 9:15.
I think it's worth mentioning, as Theron said, that the millage rate has gone down
Every year for,
every year since 16, right?
Every year since 16.
Well, since 17. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it went out in 16 as well. We just don't have those numbers for that year, the 5-year history. Yeah, it's gone from, it started out at, dead, it's 13.669, we're now down to 13.23. So it has dropped in that period.
I mean, you know, first thing folks want to holler is how taxes have gone up. And this shows you right now, I mean, the value of your property may have gone up because you chose to make improvements or do whatever, or just because it's got to be reevaluated at times. But the actual rate has gone down.
oh, yeah.
Rate is still there. So you guys did a great job during that time too. Y'all have managed a very high growth period in the county. We've got a lot of things done. And y'all have also managed it without having to borrow money for the TAN. That's a big thing. And again, it's gone down every year. You guys have just done a good job of managing the county's finances. Bill, his staff have done a great job too. And,
James, everything gone okay in y'all's office?
Thank y'all very much. Sounds good. Next item under public hearing, item number 2, 2021-2022 preliminary budgets. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing for item number 2?
So moved.
Have a motion, second?
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Motion carries. We're in public hearing number 2 at 9:17.
Okay, 10,000 foot here, 50 foot deep.
10 foot.
10,000, okay. I'll just take a few minutes to just briefly go over the budget for this coming fiscal year. And then, if you would, just make some notes as we go. If you got any questions, you can get back to Sarah and I in the next couple of weeks before we'll ask you to approve the budget for the next meeting. On the very first page, we've got a regular budget for contingency of about 150,000. We'd like to get 100% of the total budget, which is 170, but we actually 150. So notice the renege down at the bottom went from 677.8 to 708. Those are what they agree with. The general government. Next page. The new department called communications. We took some items out of the IT budget and put in this new department. Separate those things. Then if you want to jump in the time. Okay. The next department, human resources, a new one, we've expanded the health personnel budget. And some employee in there. If you notice in the 2 part columns to the right, that 79.7 is the total personnel cost for that department, and 23.5% is the percentage payroll against its total budget. And you'll see that with all departments and that personnel cost. The next line item is commissioners. That's really doing that. We've took 1 employee out and added a new employee. I don't think there's much change to bottom line.
Bill, as we say every year, we want the citizens to know when it says commissioners, this does not mean the 5 of us.
I'm sorry to hear.
I said every year we go through this, we have to inform the citizens that because it states commissioners does not mean that it is a board of 5. This is everyone that falls under us.
Probably need to consider changing that label to
Right.
administration.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Next page, election. This is about the department director is asking for an increase based on the number of hours she's having to bring in her board to work. She's asking for 2 part-time positions, which total 40 hours. So the package is about 24 hours. should decrease our elections expense a little bit going forward. That's an increase on that one. That's just finance. The only thing that really went up is contract services, and that's the accounting software, maintenance fee, and time clock plus fees. We have to pay for those two new programs. Next department's tax commissioner. Tax commissioner wanted to add another full-time position. The total package costs of $42,000.
How many employees will that give her?
I think right now, I believe she has like 10 or 11 people in payroll.
Okay.
I think we're ready to see.
Advertising legal publications, she wants to increase that by about 12,000. Reason is she's anticipating more tax sales and legal issues that she like to advertise. And the other area she wants to increase is due to being able to get out and send her staff to training and things that she feels like she needs.
On the legal advertising bill, we really haven't spent any of that this year, am I right?
I don't think we've got a tax sale.
Okay.
Right.
We're done with it. Almost.
Just in anticipation of tax sale. Tax assessors, no change, just personnel increase due to raises the past year. That's true in every department. Building and grounds, no change at all. IT went down due to, I mentioned before, we moved some items out of IT in the communication department. Court services, virtually no change. Superior Court, you notice down at the, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, you may notice some drastic increases in home insurance. That was due to the past 2 years of increases that we counties incurred from the health provider that we have not passed those premiums on to the employees. Some of the larger departments, pretty significant amount of money. Superior Court is about 20 grand. And if you notice down at the bottom, I've got a note to add dollars for pre-trial diversion. Figure out what that is. We'll have to do that before we approve the budget. We'll have that ready next week.
And that's and I'll send you guys some information on, that's a program the district attorney has asked the county to consider. People in the pretrial diversion would pay a fee, and about half of that fee would end up coming back to the county itself. So I'll get that and we'll go over all the detail with it.
And magistrate court, small increase personnel. Probate court, a little bit of increase to continue that part-time person this year. Board of equalization, no change. Legal court, person, no change. Public defender, voted on that. Public safety this is just the EMS labor costs. When they went over budget just a little bit last year, I was pretty pleased with it. There's an increase, but it's due to insurance costs and projected personnel costs next year. Inmate care, the last two line items, inmate food, inmate benefit, we see not drastic, but increases there. Inmate food, reason for that is that sheriff and chief deputy that don't have any inmates they can use to help out staff in the kitchen, those things. So food providers having to do all of that, it costs more.
70,000 more.
Inmate medical, we tend to have an aging population in the jail, and they require more health care, so that's the reason the increase there. It's not much, but it's still an increase. Sheriff's budget, the big thing there is the personnel. Sheriff's asking for a $2 an hour increase for certified deputies, $1.50 increase for jailers. total package for that's 163.8. And, he points out that leasing reimbursement that he's getting from Lucasville, as well as the new vehicle M&R reimbursement he's getting, will go a long way to offset that account, that amount of money, so he's, confident that he really wants to get to that too. As we all know, it's getting harder and harder to recruit and retain qualified deputies and jailers. And, now gas and diesel keeps going up, so those costs are going up. Projected. And the insurance, that's 60 grand more than the past year. With all that mentioned, the budget's only going up a net 84,000 over last year.
So what's the 2,569,553 in that G column?
That's the total package, payroll package for the sheriff.
Okay.
His personnel costs represent 92.28% of the total budget.
That includes all of the, insurance and everything as well, right?
Jail, I don't think there's any changes there. EMS, this is the O&M part of the budget from EMS, this one up. Increase in medical supplies, I think that's due to increased call volume. Wear and tear on the vehicles, the billing goes up, the fee we pay to the vendor goes up, so that's the contract services. The more calls we run, the more fuel we purchase, so that's the reason behind the budget going up. Coroner, about the same, due to Owen going out to do and coming in. That's insurance costs. Excuse me. 911, asking for $1 an hour scale increase. The same reason the sheriff and that private force try to get more qualified people into the chain. That represents $38,000. EMA no change. Animal shelter slight change due to insurance costs. Public works. Little increase in personnel and insurance. Contract services we added to Harris County. Notice in the district workers that bump that a little bit. Once equipment M&R, vehicle M&R going up, this is being out there more, the fuel costs are going up as well. I think that's building zoning on the next page. Skip recreation, I think this version is the same. Building zoning, same increases that I mentioned before, personnel. Brings us to a total of 17,381, which is about over $1 million increase over last year. How are we going to pay for that? Turn the page. The 2 pages of preliminary budget. I'll just mention a couple of items that collections were up last year, so we projected they're going to be up as well this year. Insurance premium taxes. It goes up every year. We set about $100 grand more in lots of sales taxes. Property taxes, it was split out between current year and the prior year. Items, but we want those together this year. That's going to be up some. Motor vehicle ad valorem tax continues to go up. Building permits, mechanical tax, real estate tax, court services fees, all those go up. Those fees we collected more last year than we ever have. Just about the same level as well. EMS fees are up as well. Grant from GDOT is up, as I mentioned earlier. And tipping fees at landfill continue to go up, so, right now, as in the last 2 or 3 years, the financial position of the county is we're in really good shape. When I think about when Jeff and I and Brian first came on the board, we had a 2.5 million negative fund balance, and we were just sweating being able to reach payroll every other week, so as I entered the twilight of my career, this is a good place to be in.
It is.
The twilight of hours too.
I don't know how much time you want to spend on the fire district going in, we'll have to go in and make some changes based on the tweaking of the millage rates.
Tell us what you need us to know.
We do have a challenge, not in this fiscal year, but coming fiscal year, when the safer grants gone and all the other grants are gone. We'll have a challenge being able to meet costs. Right now, the safer grant pays for we got 23 positions. We only budget for one per shift at the fire station, which comes to about 18. So we'll have to deal with that the next fiscal year after the safer grant's gone.
Is that not something we can apply for again?
Well, you can apply for it, but only for additional firefighters.
Oh, okay.
There's confusion with that, and the chief clarified that for there at our last meeting. You can only apply for additional firefighters.
Okay.
So we'll
Hopefully the growth, we'll have some more growth. Looks like we've got a lot of economic activity right now, which will help that. 2.5 mils, bring in more. You do have another half mil to play with, but I know we don't want to go in the different direction with the millage rate. But it's just something that we talked to the chief about it. Just kind of watch that as you go forward.
We challenged him to look at, his current staff, as well as the actual firefighters. So, right now, they have a very small amount of built-in overtime with those firefighters, but they have just that staff during the year accumulated $100,000 extra overtime, plus some part-time people that we consider permanent part-time people, account for another $100,000. So that's $200,000 that we're asking them to look at that real closely and be mindful that down the road, we're not gonna have those grants to depend on.
We'll continue to work on that.
Unless you've got anything to add, that's all I have this morning. Just again, if you.
Bill, I have a request. When you run these again, would you get a lighter blue? I can hardly see that black. I am strained to see it.
Yeah, I think it's the light reflecting off of it, but Darren has to do that too.
Okay. It's just horrible to read.
I couldn't see it either.
You couldn't see it.
I would do that.
I think it is the light, because if I hold it like this, I can read it. But if it's sitting straight down like this, it's hard to see.
Oh, and I also gave you a breakout of the $200,000 that's in the employee benefits. That extra sheet I gave you. And again, if you got any questions the next couple of weeks, here with Darren and I will try to answer. Look forward to the last week of the month getting this thing approved.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate everybody's good work, Bill. You and your department's good work. All the department heads put everything together to help us manage costs. Of course, the board's leadership. We appreciate that.
Any commissioners have any comments, concerns? All right. Is there anyone in the public who wanted to speak? Hearing none, do I have a motion to go out of public hearing number 2?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We are out at 9:34. All right. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. There's nothing there. We'll move to the next item, new business. Item number 1 is approved 2021 property millage rate. So all we need to do is go in and approve the numbers that you gave us for the different areas, correct?
do, yes,
Do we need to do those individually?
Yes. Well, what you have is this, though. You have a resolution that we'd ask you to approve, that will incorporate the county millage rate, the fire district, fire bond, and it will incorporate the Board of Education. Board of Education approved theirs earlier, but you guys have to approve that in resolution. And we also have sheets for the county, fire bond, fire district, the PT 35 forms that we'll need to have you guys sign, and as well as a PT 32 form.
Do you have a copy of that resolution? I don't have it in my
I
pack.
don't see it. I was looking.
We just read it yesterday. Legislative. Yeah, there's a list of appeals. If you have to be under a certain percentage of appeals before you submit your digest to the state, and we are under that amount, and Judy has provided a copy of that, so we'll need.
Do we have many appeals this year at all?
Not as many as in the past.
So
Passing
just
that
passing.
around.
Okay.
So hearing that, when you all see this, we'll just get a motion to approve the resolution for all of us to sign for the millage rate.
So moved.
Have a motion, to have a second?
Second.
Motion a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Is that the one that needs to be signed?
Yes.
I guess y'all just signed it on the going around if you want.
You need to sign it in blue. Does it matter?
We'll
sign the resolution.
just wait a minute.
Sorry.
We go back and just take a look a little bit history, tweak everything, we can go back on our modified history. Pass the state.
You sign it, this goes on top of it with that, so then you can pass it on to.
All right, we'll move on to item number 2, request to purchase mini excavator and compact track loader. Mr. Gay, Mr. Beal.
Sure. Bill, we'll do that. Good.
I guess back in August, we, at the August 11th meeting, the board approved to move forward with trying to purchase some additional equipment for Public Works. And presenting to purchase a track loader and a mini excavator from Yancey Brothers through the Sourcewell contract, which is the, used to be NJPA Purchasing Alliance. I guess it's a federal bid.
Yeah, federal bidding process that, you know, you can buy off that, or it's just like kind of the state bid without, because they've already bidded, they've already had competitive bids.
And you can buy various name brands, but the reason why we chose Yancey Brothers is they actually have availability of equipment now, and everybody else is out 5 or 6 months. So we were looking at February if we moved in another direction. So we wanted to get this piece of equipment as soon as possible.
Right.
We have really two requests. One is, this is really kind of bringing it back. We'd already mentioned this to you guys, but we have a used single axle dump truck and a used 2,000 gallon water truck and one used vibratory pad foot compactor.
Right.
And I did have one question, Bill. On this water truck, it shows 7,737 miles. Is that correct?
Really?
Wow. So,
Typically, the water trucks are on a job site and they're not really doing a lot of
That's
traveling.
true.
yeah. So
And-
all of this equipment was really, really good.
Yeah, and there's some
good shape.
pictures in the back. I didn't, we had one of the dump truck. Had one of the rollers of the water truck.
And these 3 units, particularly would be from United Rentals.
They had availability with them being used pieces of equipment. And what I did is I went online and checked all the other equipment and truck trader sites just to make sure that we were getting a comparable price for it.
All of these.
You have a small picture of the dump truck. You have a small picture of the dump truck.
Yeah, I think that may be a comparable
Oh, is it?
picture
Okay.
back
this is
there,
it.
some of the,
Okay.
but there you go.
This big one, Buster.
Is this it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
We're actually-
it sure is.
We actually have possession of it right now, and they're letting us use it just to make sure it does what we need it to do.
You're right.
This
it
is the water truck,
That's the water truck.
and then is this first picture, the roller?
Yes, ma'am.
I
But
mean, there's
didn't,
others in here. I guess these are just where you
That's
were.
just pictures of a comparable
Yeah.
things that I'm trying to make sure that we were getting a good
didn't we
price.
already approve to do the purchases?
You did, we're bringing this back, this particular one.
Just for approval.
Just to get it in the records.
Okay.
So we didn't have the exact numbers, but we wanted to get it specific. That's why this one is back on the agenda.
Okay.
As I mentioned in the previous meeting. The next request is something we already talked about back in August, but we had not given you guys the numbers on this, so. We'd recommend, this will be used as part of our dirt road crew maintenance. We're dealing with it out of T-Splosh because this is some equipment that will be used very, very heavily on the dirt road.
Good, I got your first dirt road, Starling.
I made a phone call a while ago.
Yeah, it's bad. If I had had one yesterday, I would have got on it myself. Any other commissioners have any questions?
Do not.
Hearing that, do I have a motion to, what are we doing?
Okay, we're going, the mini excavator and the compact track loaders first. I guess we need to go ahead and approve.
For
that.
those purchases? I mean, we already purchased them, sounds like. You got it. All right. Do I have a motion to allow or request the purchase of mini excavator and compact track loader?
So moved.
All right. Through SPOS funding.
Okay.
All right. Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Splosh or T-Splosh?
Is it SPOS or T-Splosh?
One of them was T-Splosh, I thought.
Yeah, the three-piece equipment.
T-Splosh.
These two.
All right. Have a motion and a second for the SPOS funding of the mini excavator and the compact track loader. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 3, request to purchase a single axle dump truck, used 2,000-gallon water truck, and one used vibratory pad foot compactor through the funding of T-Splosh. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries for the funding to be through T-Splosh. Thank you. Item number 4, presentation from Meriwether County Airport Authority, general overview of projects completed and future projects.
We have,
Is it
Whitney.
You got Phil and Whitney here.
All right.
Okay,
Good morning.
good morning. I'm going to try to share the screen real quick here. Give me just a second.
How long do you think this will take?
It'll take about 5 minutes. We'll go very quick.
Thank you very much.
Can you all see the screen logo on it? Awesome. Okay. All right, we're basically going to give an update on the airport projects. Again, we have just continuing positive things going on. This, I think we might have shown this last time, but we were able to uncover, just an interesting note, is we were able to uncover footage from 1932 of the opening of the airport.
Oh, wow.
I think that's Mike
Are you
Watt.
flying one of those?
Let's see what, don't tell him I said that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of amazing. So we've come a long way, and pretty cool. But we're able to uncover that. That's neat. So we're going to talk about the airport today, which is, again, just some of the stuff is big improvements. Some of it's little things that just make a noticeable difference in kind of building the brand and the reputation of the airport. And I really believe that we're on an arc where we will have in the future lots of entities wanting to come to the airport with you know, maybe it's their annual fly-in or those kind of things for different airport groups. You all are aware that we have the runway at 5,000 feet. Our hangars are full. We've been working on a lot of safety improvements and obstruction clearing. We work at the Noonan Airport as well. We have a significant amount of obstruction clearing going on there. So it's interesting that we're actually farther advanced with all that than the Noonan Airport is. We just finished an apron crack sealing marking project, and then we followed that up with a crack sealing marking project we just completed about a month ago. Remarked the runway. We've got fresh paint on it. It looks great. We also have a new windsock, which you see kind of in the lower left. That's actually has an internally lit LED light on it. That's one of probably 10 across the state. It's a new high-end sock. It's just another tone setter for us. And on the right, we just repainted the beacon tower to meet the current FAA standards. That was all with FAA grant money. You remember we did the fuel farm. We talked about last time. The fuel sales have increased 1,100%. Getting a lot of folks coming from other airports to get fuel. That gives them a chance to see our airport, see the areas that we have that are available for development. We continue to make improvements. It's just an attractive, welcoming place to be for folks from other airports. A real quick run through something we talk about typically each time, which is just ad valorem tax. Single engine piston typically is a $500 to $2,000 a year you get off a single engine. $2,000 to $4,000 off of twin engine airplanes that are based at the airport. And then small to mid-sized jet, we don't have really a hangar to accommodate them yet, but we're working toward that long term. That would be like $15,000 to $150,000. That's small or mid-size. That's not a large business jet. But we continue to go forward. We have funding in place for the AWAS, the weather observation system. That will be in probably now about 6 months or so. That is a major upgrade for the airport. And then we've talked about the next thing we're working on right now is the addition of a new 10-unit T hangar and 3 box hangars, approximately 55 by 60. It's under one roof, so it looks like a rectangle from the air, but it'll actually have internal partitions making 3 separate spaces. That allows entities who want to lease those to put multiple aircraft in there. So it could be two friends going together and renting one and putting both planes in there. It could be a small business that's using it, but it begins to continue to allow us to offer different things at the airport to attract new business and continue to grow. That project, and you can see on the graphic, that's the 10-unit T hangar, which is the same size as the existing one in blue to the right of it. Between the new T hangar and our existing blue hangar out there, that's where those 3 boxes will go. The project will up our based aircraft from 15, which is a threshold for some FAA funding, to 30. It takes us from 64th to above 40 in our rankings. And it increases ad valorem. We don't know what exactly is going to be in those hangars yet. There is a waiting list, and we've got folks who are signed up when they're available to go in there. We'd say approximately $15,000 at a minimum that it would increase the ad valorem per year that's coming off the airport. That comes to the county coffers to spend on whatever y'all would like. That's a project we talked about before that's funded essentially because there's revenue off of the rent. Airport Authority will get a loan for that. It's going to be about 1.6. The buildings themselves are about 1.2 million. So it's about 1.6 overall. And with the price they'll charge for rent, it's a payback in about 15 years. So that is something the Airport Authority will get the loan. And then we'll kind of see if there's some significant advantage in asking for the county to help back the loan. We'll come back and talk to y'all about that. But as far as the project finances itself, as far as the revenue and the debt service, so that project we've already bid the hangars, and then we're working on some tweaks to the site to tie it into some long-term development out there. So anyway, that is amazing stuff. We've continually have improvements going on. We work at airports all over the state, as you know, and it's just really positive, and it's not a story that every airport has going on. As far as the airport tomorrow, we'll again continue to build on that historic brand that we have. Again, our hangars are full. When we build the new ones, we've already got folks who have spoken for those, so those are going to be full immediately when we build them. And then we'll look at what the market is for the next things we build beyond that. We do have spaces too if somebody wants to come lease property and build their own hangar, so we're protecting that space. And we do want to utilize the facility as a focal point for community events. Obviously, that grass area out in front of the mural between the highway, we can have do other things out there associated with community events. And we'll kind of talk about that some more next time we speak, an update in a few months. We do have coming up October 16th is our next fly-in that we've been having every fall. So that's planned for a Saturday, the 16th. We'll come out for that. And then we're looking at some other things to try to work toward, since next May is the 90th anniversary. It was May of 1932 when the airport opened. So next year will be the 90th anniversary. So we plan to be in a good place when that rolls around. We will probably try to work with the chamber to maybe schedule business after hours that would run concurrent with that 90th anniversary.
And hopefully COVID will go away by then.
That's exactly right. Yes. If not, we'll be outside and we'll stand apart and celebrate. So like we always say, the key takeaways is that there's fantastic things going on at the airport, and the work of the airport authority and you guys, it's amazing what's being accomplished. We talk about punching above the weight. You take the population, for example, the county population of those airports in the top 40, and you take ours, we talked about that fuel farm, people coming over from Peachtree City saying, how did you get this? Because we've been trying to get this for a long time. So all positives. Decision makers don't arrive on a Greyhound bus. So again, we continue to set a tone out at the airport for folks that are traveling to Meriwether County to feel good about it. Economic ripple effect within the airport. And again, just keeping that culture that it's a community airport and everybody's welcome. So that's it. Those few things that we've accomplished. We spoke last week, pass those along, and the hangar thing is a really big thing for us, and that's going on right now. So we'll take any questions you have, but we did want to just give you guys a quick update on what's going on and what we've accomplished just in the last few months.
Thank you very much. Any commissioners have any questions?
I just wanted to ask, between the box hangar and T hangars, is that just for different size aircraft? I was just
Yeah,
curious.
essentially, yeah, right. So that T hangar is literally, it's got interior partitions in the building. It's a T shape. So you push the plane in backwards. It holds one plane only, each one of those T's. The boxes, somebody will rent the box, and then you can put, if you want to put one business aircraft and one recreational aircraft, it lets you put multiple planes in there. So like I said, it could be two friends that go together, put their two aircraft in there. It could be someone who owns multiple aircraft. By having those boxes, it lets us offer to other users that may not be there.
All right.
They could do airport services in the box, they can too.
Yes, correct.
All right. Well, Phil, as always, thank you very much for the presentation, and we look forward to the October event.
Super. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Have a good day. Next item on the agenda is update board on road paving request.
Chairman, Commissioners, we received 2 requests for paving of dirt roads. And of course, we have the procedure, we have the forms to be able to complete. And we've had an opportunity to kind of do some evaluation of these, and I just kind of wanted to give you a report because there's still some more work to be done. I'll start out with Beulah Evans Road. There were 31 parcels that need to have signature. And these are the people that live along the dirt road who are able to dedicate that 30-foot of right-of-way. Now, some of these are multiple owners. So when we say 31 parcels, one person may own 3 of those or 4 or whatever. We looked at the signatures, and there are a lot of signatures that were turned in. And you can see I've got several pages of signatures. Problem is that a lot of those signatures don't live on the dirt road, so they cannot dedicate the right-of-way. Out of the 31 total parcels, I really only have 11 signatures that relate to the parcels on the road. So there's 20 additional properties that we need signatures for. We got plenty of signatures on some of the side streets, but again, that's not what we need to be able to acquire the right-of-way. So that one needs some more work. I'll get with Ms. Womack, and we'll look at what we don't have. So that one is not ready. Now, it does qualify from standpoint of county maintained road. It will meet the minimum of 75 vehicles a day. Number three, the residents have to be responsible for moving the encroachment. That's fine. There is a house every 500 foot of roadway. The biggest thing right now holding that one up is that we need 20 more signatures for parcels. Okay. The other one that I had was Leroy Robinson Road. Leroy Robinson is kind of a different scenario. There's got to be a minimum of 75 vehicle trips a day to qualify. There's only 6 homes there, and even if they had 12 trips a day out of each home, they still wouldn't meet that minimum of 75 vehicle trips a day. They'd have to be in the road quite often. There's also, with a number of houses on the road, says one house for every existing 500 foot of roadway. All the homes are at the very end of the road, kind of clustered together, and it's about 3,900 linear feet. If you take that by 6 homes, even if you spread them out, that's only one every 650 feet, so it's not going to probably qualify for that. It is 2,450 or so linear feet to the first house. So you pay a half a mile of road before you ever got to someone's driveway. So that one's going to struggle with vehicle trips a day. It is going to struggle with the 500 foot house room, 500 foot of roadway. I'm not sure it's going to be able to qualify on that. They did get a good representative portion of the property owners. The only ones they didn't get were the ones at the very beginning of the road, which has quite a bit of the right of way. But even if they get those, I'm not sure that particular road's going to be able to meet the other criteria. Beulah Evans should be able to meet the other criteria. We just need signatures on those remaining 20 parcels, and then I could I'll bring that back to you guys to consideration, and I'll work with Ms. Womack. There's a lot of signatures here, but they've got to be on that road for the right-of-way donation. So, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you guys have. We've had a few other people lately talk about maybe submitting a application for paving, but we have not had any formal applications other than these two.
Any commissioners? All right. Thank you, Mr. Gay.
Thank you.
All right, next item, item number 6, Ms. Marcel Womack on resurfacing of roads. If we can unmute Ms. Womack. Ms. Womack, you can unmute yourself. Will you unmute yourself, Marcel? Ms. Womack? It looked like her camera had frozen, so.
Oh,
There you are.
y'all hear me now?
We can hear you.
All right, yeah, somehow, okay, well, before I couldn't hear y'all, I don't know what happened. But anyway, good morning, y'all. Everyone doing okay?
Yeah,
We are. How about you?
Hello?
Can you hear us? We can hear you.
Okay, great. All right, I just had, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. I just had a few questions this morning. I wanted to know, Theron, maybe you could answer this for me. What are the steps that I'm going to need to take in getting the process started to get Bobcat 2 and Whippoorwill subdivision resurfaced?
Bobcat and Whippoorwill subdivision resurface. What steps?
Okay, two of the roads.
Hello?
Two of the roads have already been listed for resurfacing. Bill, do you remember which one those were?
Turkey, Trail Court, and Bob.
Turkey. Okay. As far as the rest of the roads go,
Turkey and Bob.
yeah. As far as the remaining subdivision roads,
those will really need to go into our LeBig program and be selected. I know you guys have a lot of the signatures on this here we're talking about. They were on those roads and understand that they need to be resurfaced as well. But we have a whole lot of roads that are that way. So the best way to deal with that is going to be to maybe talk with your district commissioner and help them understand that when they start, looking at selection of roads for the LeBig program, maybe those are good candidates and should be considered. And you may have to put them over a multi-year period too. It may not be enough dollars to do them all in one particular year. So it may take a couple years of LeBig, but that's the T-Splosh we've dedicated to either paving the roads or equipment to maintain dirt roads. And the LeBig dollars and the SPLOST that subsidize that are what we use for the resurfacing.
Okay. Well, okay, I got that one. All right, and you and I have talked before, and have you completed your review to be presented for the board to having Beulah Evans paved?
She couldn't hear a while ago.
Yeah, you couldn't hear a little bit. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Beulah Evans we've done, and let me tell you where we are with that, and I'll be glad to work with you on it. On Beulah Evans, we have a lot of signatures that you turned in. But when you look at the signatures we need, which are the ones that are along the road itself that can dedicate right away, there are 31 parcels. Some of them are owned by the same owner. But of those 31 parcels, we still need 20 of those parcels to have signatures. We've got a lot of signatures, but only 11 are on the road.
Right, and a lot of those parcels on the main road of the paved part are owned by the same person. That's what's the name of it? Circle Oak. And that, so have the right of way, and you only need 5 feet on each side to get to the 30 feet that we need, because we already have the 20 feet, have eminent domain. The fact means we have 111 drivers down here, and that is rising.
Yeah, the eminent domain, eminent domain is a right-of-way option that I'm not sure the county would want to go down. That wouldn't be my decision, but I'm not sure the county's going to want to go down the road on eminent domain. You're talking about a very detailed process. The attorney can tell us a lot more than that. We might spend as much on eminent domain as we would trying to fix your road. What I would prefer to do is to get with you guys and identify the groups that have not signed, and then we'll help try to get that. We got Circle Oak Farm, we got Goodman's, we got Hayes, we got Whippoorwill Ridge, and there's, like I say, there's 20 parcels that we still need signature on that are on the main road.
But you did. Yeah, Whippoorwill Ridge. Mr. Gay, Whippoorwill Ridge is who actually put these subdivisions out. I can go ahead and find that information for you.
I'm sorry,
You're breaking up a lot, Ms. Womack. For some reason, it's almost computerized your voice.
We have no internet down here. Yeah, we have no internet here. Okay.
So what it sounds like
Mr.
is,
Gay, can
Mr. Gay get with you maybe after the meeting?
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
He can give you a call.
Yeah, that would be fine. It's just, I even had a call from the bus driver again this morning. She was slipping and sliding everywhere. But one of the major players of owning land out here, Mr. Joe Garrett, he gave his easement. I've got a lot of other easements, but Whippoorwill Ridge and then Circle Oak are the main two that that the county would need to get. Now I can help y'all get it. I just thought with 111 signatures, you couldn't have a few,
They got Beulah Evans Road.
non-signatures and it not be okay.
But the signatures
Right.
themselves.
Yeah, they have to be on
remind-
Beulah Evans Road.
Right, they have to be with those parcels of land that would be affected directly in that.
Okay, and I got a bunch of those, and I'll continue to work on the other ones then. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's dangerous. Since Terrell and them have done a really good job the last couple of weeks, and with just the road being taken care of, more people are starting to take care of their right-of-ways on the roads, doing up by the signs. People are starting to take a lot more pride, and I would like to see that continue. I don't want to see all of the work be done in vain.
We understand.
Okay.
So if Mr. Gay can get with you at some point after the meeting today, he'll reach out to you, Ms. Womack, and speak about that in more depth. Is there anything else, Ms. Womack?
No, sir, we are good for now.
All right, well, y'all stay safe, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any commissioners have any more? Hearing that, we'll move to the next item, and that is reports from the Finance Director. Mr. Beal.
Here y'all have the,
Any commissioners have questions? Hearing none, we'll move to the next item, report from the County Administrator.
Chairman, Commissioners, we've been meeting on, there's been a lot of interest in economic activity here lately. We've had several meetings on that, and on broadband, had some meeting on water line expansions, some options and some of the things we're looking at on that. Been working on some of the road processes. Bill done most of the budget, but did sit in a few days with him on that. Next Monday, Michelle, our new administrator, will be here. Looking forward to have her coming in. It's going to be a busy year, busy spring. We have a lot of projects that are hopefully we'll have going here. We should know this month about our recreation program up here, and just a lot of things rolling forward. But again, I appreciate all you guys do. I appreciate all the help from our staff and everybody. Makes coming to work and getting stuff done a pleasure.
At least the ones that are here.
That's right.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Any
Appreciate it.
commissioners have any questions? Next item is report from county commissioners. Commissioner Plant.
I just want to say the Keep Meriwether Beautiful is September the 18th, which is Saturday week, correct? And there are a few changes, and y'all help me out here, but we will limit the total number of tires taken in over at Public Works to Meriwether County residents only, and a maximum of 10 tires. 12.
I was like, the paper
Okay.
said 12.
I knew I should have printed that
Max
out.
of 12.
Max 12.
The max is 12.
People from just bringing truckloads there.
There will also be additional notices placed at the different sites for the where the dumpsters are located on the limit of what you can actually dispose of at those sites. So encourage everyone that it's a great time to clean up in Meriwether County. The other thing is I want to thank Public Works. This has been one of the rainiest summers that I can remember, and the amount of road calls and the amount of work being required to do has been tremendous. So thank you to Public Works and the hardworking crew that we have. And that's it for me.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Hadley.
I don't really have anything except one question for Allison. I know we had a letter for us to sign about the FDR pool, so, okay, we need to make sure we sign that, but that's it.
Commissioner McCoy?
The only thing I would just like to echo what Ms. Rosal said, appreciate the hard work that's gone into the roads. I was sitting here thinking over in First District in Gay, they're gonna have their, 9/11 program. Allison, I believe it's at 11 with lunch at 12.
12 to 2, you can drop in.
Yeah, just wanted to make mention of that. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you. The only thing I have is I've already spoken to Public Works this morning about Starling Road in Calebiot. It is an absolute disaster. So thank you, Mr. Beal, for getting on that and addressing it this morning. And that's all I have. Next item is a report from County Attorney.
Mr. Chairman, I have nothing to report unless the board has any questions.
Anyone have any questions for the County Attorney? Is there a need for executive session?
There is, for just very shortly.
For what
For
purpose?
real estate, personnel, and litigation.
Personnel. All right, thank you very much. Next item is public comment. Is there anyone online who would like to speak for 3 minutes?
Ryan, Miss Jane.
Yes, ma'am.
I bring you greetings and thank yous from Caitlin Systems and Young Child Construction Company. This is a Korean cake that they wanted me to present. You may have seen them walk in the door already. They would not stay, but they brought 2 cakes, one for the staff and one for you. And
Well, thank you.
I don't know if you've ever eaten a Korean cake or not, but they're not sweet. They're sort of bland. But this one has strawberries on top and it's like,
Well, how nice.
Nice of them.
they wanted to say thank you because of all the work that y'all have put into having them get to this point so far. And they continue to work and they're really going full scale now. And Mr. Oliver, they will be meeting with you at 1:30 if you're still online. They're coming to see you then to talk about some deadlines. So enjoy the cake, I'll share it, cut it up and eat before you go home and get a taste of Korean cake.
Thank you very much. We'll send them a thank you.
Thank you for all your
You
work.
don't have to send them a thank you, just continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Anyone else? Right, hearing none, we do have a need for executive session for possible litigation, personnel, and real estate, but our future meetings will be September 28, 2021 at 6 p.m. Do I have a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of possible litigation, personnel, and real estate?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor? Motion carries. We are in executive session at 10:12.
Previous executive session, there's no action taken. Is there anything else that needs to come before us? Do I hear a motion we adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Meeting is adjourned at 11:03.